Welcome, Wisdomers. Today we are exploring a highly efficient mechanism in Python, known as short-circuit evaluation. In Python, the interpreter follows a specific return value rule. When executing logical operators like and or, rather than simply returning a Boolean true or false, Python often returns the actual value of the operand that determines the result. By the end of this session, we will demonstrate a practical example of how this rule serves as a powerful tool for programmers, allowing for cleaner code and more robust error prevention. Let's dive in. Let's illustrate this concept with a practical example. I encourage you to pay close attention here, as this logic is foundational to efficient programming. Consider the expression false and true. In a logical AND operation, the final result can only be true if both operands are true. Therefore, when the Python interpreter evaluates the first operand and finds it to be false, the outcome is already guaranteed. Is there a need to check the second value? No. Python immediately returns false and ignores the rest of the expression. This efficiency is exactly what we call short-circuiting. If the first operand determines the final result, the second is never even evaluated. Now, let's take a closer look at the return value rule. Let's look at two scenarios using the AND operator. Scenario 1. Consider false and true. Because the first operand is false, the entire operation is already known. In this case, Python simply returns the first operand as the output. Scenario 2. Now consider true and true. Here the first operand is true, which means it cannot determine the final result alone. The outcome now depends entirely on the second operand. Therefore, Python evaluates and returns the second operand. This logic is consistent. If the second operand is true, the result is true. If the second operand were false, the result would be false. In both cases, when the first operand is true, the second operand becomes the final return value. Having mastered the AND operator, let's now examine how short-circuiting and the return value rule apply to the OR operator. Consider the expression true or false. In a logical OR operation, the outcome is guaranteed to be true if at least one operand is true. Therefore, as soon as the Python interpreter identifies that the first operand is true, it knows the final result. It skips the second operand entirely. This is short-circuiting. Furthermore, following the return value rule, Python simply returns that first operand as the final output. Now, here is a challenge for you. Based on what we've discussed, what would be the behavior for the expression false or false? Which operand is evaluated, and what is returned? Leave your analysis in the comments below. Stay focused. We are about to explore some of the most powerful details in Python logic. Consider the expression y or x, where y equals 10. Because of implicit type conversion, Python treats the integer 10 as true. In an OR operation, if the first operand is true, the interpreter return value rule, just return the operand. Thus the result is 10. But why does this matter to you as a programmer? Look at this common design pattern. If a user provides a name, user_input is truthy and is returned immediately. However, if the string is empty, which Python treats as false, the operation returns anonymous. This return value rule allows you to write clean, efficient code with built-in safety nets. Spend some time with these examples. They are the mark of a truly proficient Python developer. If you're enjoying our journey together, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated. For more deep dive resources, including practice quizzes and real-world projects, visit the Wisdomers app at www.wisdomers.in. Let's keep building together.